Hey, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful Saturday. Today, we've got some very exciting BSL matches. Bunch of TVZ today. I will be one of the co-hosts. My name is Sterling, and alongside
Hi.
me is Goose.
Hey guys, I'm Goose. I was tricked into being here today. I was told we were going to watch Starship Troopers, and then I realized that we have three TVZs in BSL, and I figured, you know what, I wasn't really lied to, but it was a white lie. I'm happy to be here.
We were desperate. We were desperate, and we got you in here, and that's what counts. Um, oh, by the way, I'm actually not a statue. My webcam isn't working, so it's a photo of me, but I do actually move and talk.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Listen, I know you're a poker player, and that's literally just your poker face.
It, I have a decent poker face, and I'm exercising it now. So we have cool matchups today. I'm actually genuinely excited to watch some of these games.
Hell yes.
Especially this winner bracket semis match, Hawk UltrA. Hawk is one of my favorite people in the Broodwar scene. I've gotten to know him better in the last 6 months, just sharing some discords with him and some voice chat stuff. And he's like remarkable. Just as a human, he's like really, really intelligent. Great Zerg player, just like really, really smart. Does things a little bit differently than a lot of other players. The rest of the folks, I don't know as well. SPX, Ziki, Terror, I don't know as well.
I have to say that I completely agree with everything we said about Hawk so far. Actually, guys, we were just talking about him right before the stream started. I'm also very excited to watch Hawk and UltrA play. On the other hand, I have known Conan for a couple of years now. I know him very well, and just like Hawk, he is a great guy. Him and Terror are actually friends. However, there is a ton of history between the two when it comes to StarCraft. Their rivalry is pretty powerful. So in both games, both matchups, UltrA versus Hawk and Conan versus Terror, I really don't know what to expect. Both Hawk and Conan are excellent guys. They take their time analyzing their replays, and they really think differently. So I am looking forward to see what they come up with. I really don't know. On the one hand, I respect the Zergs. I'm a Zerg player myself. I am biased, for full transparency here. But on the other hand, I would not discount UltrA, and I would certainly not discount Terror.
Agreed. I mean, they've both beaten really good players to get here, and TVZ is a razor's edge matchup. Like, it's so easy to lose. Like, I think UltrA, I don't know his game super well, but I've heard he likes dropships, and he does mix in 8 racks.
He's such a solid player, man.
Yeah, it's really solid. Like, most of the games I've seen UltrA play have been some variety of a standard macro build, like a +1 4 racks or 2 racks of CAD, and he gets those 10-minute vessels out and just plays bio, which, I mean, as a Terran player, I don't do any of that stuff because it's so hard to play. FK Terran is very, very hard to play and win with. So I really admire those that choose that path.
No, it is definitely the most demanding play styling in all of Broodwar. I don't think anybody disputes that, honestly.
It's tough, Oh, are we in the game? I think we're in the game. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Zero.
It's okay. We can keep cooking, no issue.
Yeah, we can just keep cooking. So yeah, it's SK. It's hard, You got to control you have 160 supply. There's all this stuff going on. You're trying to take bases, and you're also supposed to pay attention to 8 Marines and 2 medics somewhere on the map. Okay.
Look, just moving across the map requires you to handle 3 control groups at once, if not more, of pure bio. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's so rough.
just hotking stuff up. And hey, Zerg has it tough too, though. I mean, Zerg, it's like one dropship slips in past Scourge, and like so as a Zerg, do you just have to watch your minimap constantly because you have to reposition Scourge? Like Terrans will fly around him.
Like there's a lot of chores for Zerg, right? You have to reposition your overlords. You have to reposition your Scourge. Watching a couple of friends of mine practice recently, they learned that Scourge don't go through Nidases, right?
Right,
At the
because
right
they
time.
fly.
They fly, but they don't instantly teleport, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of prep work that needs to be done for you to handle drops effectively. And that, gladly enough, this is something that Hawk himself talks a lot, actually. He mentions that for some reason, recently, dropship play has become a bit more popular, and it continues to catch Zergs off guard. And I've seen Ultra do this. I remember Ultra going for a similar play back in the Latin American Cup of 2022, I believe. Oh, we are ready. So I can stop speculating and we can actually go into the game and see if it happens. Let's
All right,
see.
beautiful. Are we in? I think I have to switch tabs.
And we're in!
All right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first game of BSL today. In the top right, we have the Zerg player Hawk SC.
And in the bottom left of Radon, we have UltrA, a rock solid Terran player from Latin America. Fantastic Latin American players in BSL. I like UltrA, I love Terror, I like Conan, I love the representation.
All right, you're a Zerg, Goose. Do you like cross-map spawns?
Actually I don't. For a long time when 3-hatch Muta was the norm, I actually liked it because it bought me more time to handle bio attacks. But nowadays, with 2-hatch being the meta, the closer I am through air, the happier I am. The earlier my mutas can get in there and deal damage, the better.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, as a Terran, I think I like far spawns, unless I wanted to do a 2 racks a CAD timing, which basically doesn't work cross map because it's such a tight timing window. Like you're trying to have your bio arrive at 520 into their natural, and 5 seconds is a pretty big deal. Anyway, we got some opening builds. We've got a 12 hatch from Hawk. We have a non-wall-in racks from Ultra. I'm always a fan of Terrans that don't wall in. I mean, look, walling is perfectly fine. But you also don't have to. I watch Light all the time. I see him. He doesn't wall in. I don't know. In the Foreigner meta, everybody walls always. I think it's cool. We don't have to wall in. You can just, build a bunker if you need a bunker. Save your eco a little bit.
You can take it. I see.
We see Hawk. One nice Zerg optimization is getting your drones to that extractor before it's finished, because you start gathering Vespine gas quicker, and you can start morphing the Zerg lair quicker.
Oh yes, there's a surprising amount of mechanical optimization you can do in the early game as Zerg. Just that is a 251 lair from Hawk, by the way, which means he's doing a fantastic job with all of his mineral boosting, with his gas timing. Despite being despite having no reason to suspect otherwise, Hawk has some excellent crispy timings here. Is there a CC from UltrA? Yes, it is. The CC in the second racks is already coming up.
So pretty standard cookie cutter play on both sides. With respect to the optimization from Hawk, this is something I've really started to appreciate more. I don't mineral boost. I just never have. I just always thought it was some sort of kind of insignificant thing. It makes a huge difference. I'm finding out like it can accelerate your build 4 to 5 seconds. Like
Yes,
it's massive, especially with Terran. So I'm like, I'm just now trying to like learn how to do it, and it's not so easy. So these guys like Hawk and Ultra that like really refine their technique, like there's a skill to it, and it's not easy, and it takes APM, it takes attention. So we see the 2.5 patch build from Hawk. Is that what this is called?
That is indeed what it is called. You can see we didn't immediately send a drone out to our third base, right? And Hawk built a third hatch right before his spire. So it is 2.5 hatch. Hawk has been interested in doing, I wouldn't say unorthodox, but Hawk has been exploring different play styles recently. If you watch his games against Dragon, you'll see in ZVP you'll have seen that he's been practicing the mass Hydra style, right? And here against Terran, instead of going the cookie cutter 2-hatch path, he has opted to go for the slightly less common 2.5 hatch. I wonder if it's because of the cross positions here, because he knows that, even with the proper optimization and even with a couple of seconds of advantage in his build, he's not going to be able to make it to Ultra space in time to deal severe damage. So he's instead opting for a more macro-oriented approach. Ooh, that's the second SCV that Ultra loses this game.
And I like that approach from Hawk. I think it shows some confidence. Like he feels like he doesn't need to like play from advantage. It seems like he's comfortable just playing like a safe game where he doesn't overreach. Speak of the devil, we see Ultra going for the 2 racks of CAD push. He's arriving at the natural at 5:30. Pre-game, we were discussing this, and I said, like, you want to arrive at 5:20. This build kind of sucks across map. He arrives at 5:30, and it's like, he's not there in time to get anything done. These mutas are about to pop. 2 sunkens are up. Basically, if you're vertical or horizontal spawns, you arrive at 5:20, you can bust 2 sunken and get damage done before the mutas spawn. But if you're 8 seconds later, you're going to bust those sunken, mutas are going to spawn, you're not going to get any damage done. So, I think this favors Hawk. 2 racks of CAD that doesn't get anything done, like, I feel like it's sick. It's 55.
I don't think we did, right? Did we see any medics come out with that push for UltrA? I don't think we did.
I think there was 2. I think we had 2.
All right. If that is the case, then I have to agree with you. UltrA kind of, he definitely paid the price, he sacrificed for that early pressure, and he didn't really get anything out of it. Whenever I talk StarCraft to friends and family, and I tell them that, there was an 8-second difference in the video, a lot of them don't get it. But the way I explain it that has actually worked for me is that imagine that you're driving, like you're in a race, and you close your eyes for 8 seconds. That is an eternity. Ooh, Hawk here taking a little bit of damage. He doesn't quite have all of the mutas to handle this.
That is an eternity, and I like the race analogy, especially for TVZ. Like, it often feels like both players are kind of race cars that are like redlining and going as fast as they can, and it's really easy to spin out. So UltrA,
use all of your mutas, yes.
Yes. UltrA has like pretty good infrastructure management at home. Like he has a pretty quick factory. He has not overbuilt turrets. He's keeping his bio on the map. So we're gonna see what his mid-game plan is. Like, is he gonna go 2-port? Is he gonna build a machine shop? When is he gonna grab that second gas? And when is he gonna take his third base? These are all questions. We see Hawk poking in the natural. He sees adequate defense. He probably feels pretty good. He's just keeping the bio back. He's taking that bottom right third. Typically, I would expect a Zerg to be teching to Lurker, but it looks like Hawk has an evolution chamber and a hive,
Yes.
aka Crazy Zerg.
Yes, sir. Excellent. I was about to bring it up myself. We saw that early Evo. We saw that relatively early Queen's Nest. Hawk is absolutely going for the big ultra play here. I can't say I've seen him do it before. I've seen his pupils doing it before, but now I'm starting to realize where this come from. Ooh, Hawk doing incredible damage with these mutas. The Marines just don't quite react on time. All of the turrets in the natural are down. Ultra is going to have to rebuild that. Otherwise, the pressure is going to be relentless. Hawk here has had excellent map awareness. We see that Hawk knows that the bio is crossing the map. Oh, man.
Oh, this weird micro.
To deal with that.
This is so strong, just relentlessly killing Marines. Like, Ultra feigns a move up, but, like, really isn't threatening any bases. I don't know if he knows about bottom right yet, but these Muta are just relentless, just hammering down this natural. We see these Marines trickling behind the mineral line. I mean, just heading straight into the blender.
Those Marines are fighting under the shade, but not in a very good way.
Not in a great way. We do see Ultra storing up some tanks. So he's interested in, like, using siege mode to outrange the sunken defense of the Crazy Zerg player, which it can work, but it's very committal because you're typically, if you get tanks, you're slowing down your upgrades. You're slowing down like your second engineering bay. Well, he's got 2 going, or at least 1 going. It looked like one of them was idle, but
he's also slowing down his vessels, man. Well, I see the first vessel's out actually. Nice.
Yeah, he's got his 10-minute vessel. I mean, these Muta have put in so much work. Like, if there was a death counter tool in StarCraft, like, I would love to see how many Marines have died, because it feels like the Muta have just been so efficient.
And you look at the map, right, when Ultra feigned a move out, like, where is that force now? Oh my god, and Hawk is not done yet. I was going to say that, you know, there were two bio balls, right? The one that stayed home to handle the mutas, and the other that moved out on the map. Oh, what a perfect split from Hawk. And now there's just a labor shortage for Terran, man.
There really is labor shortage. Dude, Hawk's Muta putting in work, and as a Terran player, it is so demoralizing when you just get pulled apart by micro and multitasking and Mutalisks that just feel like hell demons from the sky. It just feels awful. You feel like, how am I ever going to win this series? What am I going to do in game 2? You see Scan going down, sees the Nidus, doesn't see any of the tech.
This is the most underwhelming Scan. Oh man.
It really is. Like, I would hope that Ultra knows it's Crazy Zerg by this point. He's had plenty of time to drop scans up to this point. And, you know, if you identify it's Crazy Zerg, like the common response is you go up to like 8 racks and you stay on 2 base and you make a huge bio ball.
That's really the only way to deal with Ultras, right? You just go for the massive bio ball.
Yeah, and I'm worried about all these tanks, Goose. Like, that 5 tanks.
5 tanks is a lot.
Tanks aren't very good against Ultras, are they? Like,
no, not really. Not really. I mean, the Ultras, they're going to ram into your front lines, right? And the splash damage of the tanks. They're not going to kill the Ultras, but they will severely damage the Marines. So,
yeah.
Oh my god, he has such a small window of time here to get value out of these tanks, which is like to break through a significant amount of something, right?
Oh my god, Scourge. So, okay, Hawk has done a great job. He hid his Ultras through the Nidus, so none of them have been pre-irradiated. So they have 400 hit points and a metric ton of armor. So they come out, Scourge Connect, Ultras surrounding everything. Ultra did a great job. He actually won the fight. His remaining force is small.
Yes.
But it is ranged. He is sieging up those Sunkens.
That is true. the trade, I would say that overall, if I were in Hawk's position, I would be feeling fantastic. This force that is sitting outside of Hawk's natural, it's not large enough to break through. There's plenty of time for Hawk to produce additional Zerglings, produce additional Ultras, and then ram against that force again. Whereas UltrA, he's just now ramping up his production. He's just now adding the barracks that he needed 3 minutes ago. And he has to cross the entire map by foot to reinforce this. So here we go again, right? The Hawk's reinforcements arrive, and the mutas are there too. I think this is the end of this expeditionary force here for UltrA.
Absolutely huge, with Hawk also taking a base on the other side. This is so one-sided, and this is such a tragedy for Hawk, for UltrA, because he's being defeated by his namesake unit, which is kind of a slap in the face. Depending on how you look at it. I think Hawk may be doing this on purpose. I don't know.
I think this is UltrA being Batman, right? You know that Batman calls himself the Batman because he's afraid of bats. This is UltrA calling himself UltrA because you respect the Ultras.
You respect the Ultras. What are the 4 carapace? Those Ultras are thick boys. They're big boys. And they're not going to go down easily. I think Terran is probably on +2 attack. We got a 2-point differential. And yeah, Hawk is taking the map and just sending Ultras directly at UltrA. I mean...
yeah, I really don't see a way out for UltrA here. He's dealt effectively no damage to Hawk over the past 15 minutes.
It's an uphill battle, and it's always going to be when the Muta deals so much damage.
True.
And, I like how Hawk is, trading, and also, he's continuing to grow. He's just doing the classic Zerg thing. Here's a hatch. I'm gonna take bases everywhere, connect everything to Nidus canals, and just jam units straight up the gut. I mean, it's just like a punch directly. It's like I don't know what it's called in UFC. They punch directly at right hook.
I have to say, I also really like Hawk's map presence here. There's pressure in UltrA's main, and Hawk has gotten every other corner of the map, right? As UltrA, it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to run into some complications. If you go to one corner, you're going to have to walk your way there because we haven't seen a single dropship. If you leave your base, the Ultras are knocking at your door, right? You just make Hawk's job even easier. Again, yep. I personally don't see a way out for UltrA here. Although miracles do happen, I wouldn't be counting on one right here.
And I think if you're in UltrA's shoes, you're thinking, I took so much damage to the Muta this game, and I still almost won. I won the initial fight after losing so many Marines to the initial Muta. So you've kind of written the game off a little bit as okay, something went wrong early that snowballed out of control.
Yeah.
But I still want to fight. I still, you have something to take away to not feel totally demoralized, but you also have something to improve. You need to take less damage to Muta, which, that's a tall order. Muta are a good unit.
Easier said than done.
Indeed.
Yeah, but again, this is the first game of a best of 5, right? There's the GG.
Yep.
That was a perfectly reasonable game. A Hawk putting the pressure with the Mutas and UltrA paying the price. That was unfortunate for UltrA, seeing that they spawned in cross positions, right? And still opting to go for that 2 racks at CAD also didn't really help him. I think that mistake compounded with Hawk's decision to build Ultras, right? Because you need, as Terran, you need that production to kill Ultras. And when you go for the 2 racks at CAD timing, you do sacrifice some economy, right? You sacrifice some of your development to go for that early punch. Mm-hmm. So sacrificing a bit of growth, not landing the punch, and then running into early Ultras, that was an unfortunate sequence of events. But overall, perfectly valuable and valid TVZ game. I wouldn't say that UltrA, was sloppy. I wouldn't say that he made like a fatal mistake and he threw the game. No, he just happened to have really bad luck with the positions. He made a questionable decision with the build, and that's all it takes in StarCraft, right? You take one misstep, and your opponent can just step on you and kill you.
Absolutely agreed. And I'm glad you mentioned the build not feeling like ideal.
Yeah.
Which, like, it's okay. Like, on paper, it's okay. Like, if a 2 Raxacad doesn't get anything done, you're still alive. You still have the standard tech that you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a match where, like, if you're equal with your opponent, or if your opponent's slightly better than you, like, in either of those cases, it really compounds. Just to, like, even though you have what your tools, like, you're slightly behind where you need to be, and that makes it much, much tougher to win that game.
StarCraft just has no catch-up mechanics, man. It's rough. Like if you lose, if you like you said, if you're on equal terms against your opponent, and let's say that you lose an early worker, right? You will never make up for it. You're just,
Like,
it's so rough.
Especially in like a tournament setting where both players are trying really, really hard and they're not going to lose focus. Looks like we're jumping into game 2 here on Eclipse. We've got UltrA in the top right, who lost the first game, but looks pretty sharp. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All right, we're hopping into game 2 on Eclipse. We got UltrA in the top right. Had a really strong showing game 1, but there were a couple small things for him to improve upon.
And on the bottom left, we have my personal favorite Zerg player. Sorry, Conan. This is Hawk, showing his Mutalisk.
God, his Muta prowess. Yeah, his Muta were just like just unreal. He just cleaned up with those Muta.
I have to say though, I think that Hawk's play made perfect sense given the map and the spawn positions. I'm interested in seeing how it's going to play out on Eclipse, because Eclipse and Radon are two very different maps.
They really are. I wonder, do you think Hawk's build choice in game 1 was reactive to being cross map?
Ooh, I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Again, looking at the series between Hawk and Dragon, Hawk did effectively the same build, the same playstyle every single game. Mm-hmm. So I think that, knowing Hawk, he likes to try out, the same playstyle on many different scenarios, right? Regardless of the map, regardless of the player. So I think that Hawk in particular is inclined to go for these alternative playstyles, even in a tournament setting.
I love it, and it's very fun to watch too. Like, to see a player play it slightly offbeat, but stick with it. Just catching up. I have the Twitch chat open on the side and just catching up. People are calling Hawk the Ogre Zerg, which I don't know the lore there, but I like that nickname. JYC says he thinks that Hawk has one of the best ZVT in the foreigner scene. And I agree with that. I think he's up there. I think like Crossy and Striker are contenders, but I would put Hawk in the top 3, maybe top 2.
Ooh. Just as you were saying that, we can see that Hawk caught an SEV with his drone, and he's going for a 3 base build on Eclipse. That's fantastic. That's exactly how this map should be played.
It really is. This is a wonderful build for Zergs on this map, and if you watch ASL, you'll see some of the Terrans will send an early SCV to the 3rd to try to slow down that hatchery, and like this build is very, very strong. Like,
yes.
The nice part about getting that hatchery finished quickly is that you have creep and you can play a sunken defense game, which it's kind of how Zerg wants to do it with the tiny little ramps.
Dude, if you were in Ultra's position here, right? You saw, I'm fairly certain you would have seen that Hawk didn't build his gas yet, but you lose the scouting Jesse V. Do you suspect a 3-base play right off the bat?
I think that you do, and it looks like Ultra does, because he's opening up 2 racks a cat again. And this timing can hit the third, or it can hit the natural. And, like, if you hit the third, you have to kill it. I think, on paper, these builds line up favorably for Hawk, but the defense can be pretty tight. Like, Hawk is probably going to need 3 sunks at his natural and 2 sunks at his third, around 520, which is pretty early. And you know, Hawk is a bit of an optimizer, and he seems like a player that doesn't love turning his drones into static defense.
That is certainly true. But to be fair to Hawk, he knows exactly when to build the sunks, right? He has vision of the map. He can see his Zerglings are guarding the front entrance of Ultra's natural. So he's well aware of this potential push coming. He doesn't quite know the Rex count yet, but he's gonna find out in the next 5 seconds.
He's also been keeping his eye on the Marine count, so I think he that's a lot of Zerglings. Let's see what the sunken response is, and is there a Ling backstab? Because there is no wall. A couple Firebats come out to block the ramp, so good for Hawk that he didn't go for a Ling backstab, because it would have been taken care of. So this bio time is coming. It's
Oh, wow! What a surround! That's brutal.
The medics are out of position. Ultra is
God.
dead. There's no coming back from this. That was the classic. You put that on the box showing TVZ. You just show 40 Zerglings surrounding bio of a weakened Bioforce.
God.
This game is over.
Oh my God, I'm lightheaded.
Realistically, yeah, we're gonna see another like six minutes of TVZ, but so rough. It is so rough for Terran. You lose that bio ball.
I cannot believe. I loved Hawk's killer instinct there. That was so fast. Even like I hold nothing against Ultra here. Hawk's position on the high ground there as the Marines were pushing up the ramp, man, everything was just so well timed and so well positioned ahead of time. That was intense.
It was incredible. And from the standpoint of a Terran, you have the tools to deal with that. The 2 racks of CAD build, you're supposed to scan the natural as you move out. And if Zerg is playing a Zergling-based defense, you wait for your Firebat follow-up for your timing. And if Zerg is just going on with a sunken defense, you can push out without the bats. But it's an adjustment you have to look for and make very, very quickly. And you also have to have an effective scan. But Ultra got caught without Firebats. He kept them at home to block the ramp, which is a reasonable choice, but backfired here.
Man, as Ultra in this game, right? What's the silver lining here? Do we opt to go for the early dropship play and hopefully catch the Zerg off guard? Do we? I don't know. I'm just watching the mutas right now. I'm just, holding my breath, watching the mutas, expecting them to end the game.
Yeah, it's tough, because you're feeling behind as Terran, but Zerg also has a strong economy from the get-go with a fast third base. So you feel this pressure that you need to plan some sort of damage. And I think maybe that is dropships. Like, maybe he builds a 2 Valkyrie and just goes straight into dropships and foregoes vessels. It feels like there's some sort of risk is required to put himself into a winning position. That said, that's just I'm a third party opinion. Ultra may be feeling confident here. Oh,
Wow.
we got that's in the bunker and a quick stim. Nice reaction there
Nice.
from our Terran player.
That's actually quite inspiring to see because I don't know if you feel the same way, but to me, StarCraft, like half of the game is your mental performance, right? If you allow yourself to be crushed after losing that Marine Ball, like you're setting yourself up for failure. But here, UltrA, as far as I can see, he's remained focused. He's not yet tilted. He's defending his base extremely well. So you know what? I'll give him props to him, man. Keeping
Absolutely.
your
Like
mental in this state is hard.
it's such a huge part of the game. Like playing from behind, playing from ahead, like when you grind StarCraft, you have to deal with all of these states. And on ladder, you can tap out of games early. Sometimes you don't build the stamina and skills to play from behind. But this is a different situation. We're deep in the BSL. Like you're not going to tap out early. You're going to try to scrape and scrap for any chance that you have. And like I really like how UltrA's doing that. Like he's kept his mechanics going great. He's got all of his infrastructure up. He's doing what he can to fight his way back in this game, and it's not easy to do. It takes a lot of soft skills and mental fortitude. So good for him for showing up.
Worst case scenario, you practice, right? And you're in a tournament setting. You might even concede the game, right? But you don't give up mentally. Like you treat this as practice. Hawk is, well, I would say that Hawk is a worthy practice partner and opponent. So you enjoy the time. This is a hobby after all. We're all doing this because we love it. No one is forcing us to do this. So you stick in the game, you practice, you keep warming yourself up. And everyone wins, right? Both players play an excellent game. We get to cast fantastic battles. The audience gets to enjoy high quality StarCraft. So yeah, this staying in the game, trying as hard as you can is the right choice for everyone.
That's what we're here for, And we've seen comebacks. There was a Super Bowl comeback, a 28-3 comeback. I think it was the Patriots. We've seen crazy comebacks, and StarCraft is a fragile game. Like you slip in a couple drop ships, you destroy a couple mineral lines. I think Hawk is going to be looking out for that. So we're gonna see. But so yeah, we see Hawk. He's got Lurker tech, and he's teched into Defiler, and he's getting his Niduses up. And Eclipse, typically a map that's pretty tough for Zerg to take a 4th base on, so they tend to macro up on 3 bases and just try to get a lot of stuff out. It looks like Hawk has 3 macro hatcheries in his main, and he just wants a lot of larvae, a lot of units, and then he can get map control, take his 4th, take his 5th.
I don't know if UltrA has enough here outside of Hawk's natural. Yeah, and just to say that, if he sees that Hawk is preparing this backstab and retreats across the entire map. UltrA just doesn't have enough to do more than one thing at a time right now. That's really limiting him. Hawk, in the meantime, like you said, he's comfortable staying on 3 bases and macroing, right? He knows what he needs to do. He's doing it well. You can see he's adding, his macro hatcheries. The Defilers are already out. It wouldn't surprise me if Consume is, going to be done in the next 5 seconds. So Hawk is comfortable, and UltrA can only do one thing at a time, and he has to make the right choice and execute on it properly to have any semblance of hope here.
That is how it feels, and you gotta feel for the guy a little bit, because both games he's had early game setbacks that have put him in tough positions. Wow, these are full drop ships. The Mutas spot them. Hopefully he noticed. Just to finish that thought, UltrA, he's playing phenomenal StarCraft. He's had a couple setbacks, but you can see he's just dripping with talent. His mechanics have been so strong, his confidence has been so strong. He deserves to be here, without a shadow of a doubt. But he's had a rough start to this best of 5. We see this drop. Hawk has units in position. Does he have Swarm ready?
It looks like he does.
Maybe not. But Hawk going with
there it is.
Lots of stuff approach. Like, I'm just gonna have a lot of units, a lot of Zerg Hydralisks, and they clean up.
Imagine, like, just like again, if this drop, if Ultra hadn't had the setbacks, right? If this drop came out 15 seconds earlier, the damage that Ultra would have dealt would have been huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Maneuvered around the base, stationed his Marines behind the mineral lines. Like it would have made a world of difference. And that speaks to his caliber, right? That because despite all of the setbacks, he was still able to make this play, deal some damage. It's easy for us to criticize them here, but put yourself in Ultra's shoes, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be in this game state at all. Not even close.
Like, he's also finding damage against a Zerg that isn't expanding, which it's pretty hard to do. Like, typically dropship play is strongest when Zerg is searching to grow and they're taking a fourth base. And it's not that strong when Zerg is just sort of chilling on 3 base. Because, like, dropships are so strong in conjunction with, like, using your army somewhere. So, like, you use your army somewhere and drop somewhere else. Very, very hard. When Zerg is hunkered down behind lurkers, they're not expanding, your army can't really threaten anything by itself. Yet Ultra found some damage. Looks like we're going to have some swarms in the natural, and this is rough. Terran, you never really like to see this. There are a few things that can deal with it. Yamato Cannon deals damage under Dark Swarm. Nuclear Strike. Nukes do go off. Technically, fire bats.
Yeah, that's right. Oh! I was going to say, like, again, I've been saying that Ultra can only do one thing at a time, right? I'm pleasantly surprised to see the dropship play, despite the huge pressure in the natural with the Dark Swarm. Like,
yeah, me too.
Ultra's fighting back, man.
He's making his mark, and he's showing Hawk, like, look, even when I'm under pressure, I'm still gonna, like, if I'm going down, I'm gonna, like, kick you on my way down. Like, I'm here to fight. He's signaling he still wants to win this best of 5, and he's not giving up. Like, he's gonna fight his way down. And from what I've seen, he has very reasonable chances against Hawk. Like, he's lost both of these games decisively, but TBZ is a decisive matchup. Like, whoever loses, it usually looks decisive. So, like, you can have very evenly skilled players show games that look very one-sided.
Yeah, it's a very explosive matchup. Like, the Marines have such high DPS that they can melt, entire control groups of Zerg. Lurkers, if you have the right upgrades and the lurkers are positioned correctly, they can also wipe out like enormous, loads of biomasses like in an instant. So yeah, it's very explosive. Oh man, what a position by Hawk.
Yeah, that's a good swarm. That is a good swarm. We're seeing a glimpse of Ultra's late game Eclipse plan. Like, he's doing a 3-factory siege tank transition, and Ultra taps it out. GG, excellent game from both players. I think the defining moment of this game was Hawk crushing that initial bio ball with the Zerglings around, and from there on out, Ultra was in a really tough spot, and Hawk was pretty surgical and safe and solid and just made a lot of stuff, took no risks, and converted.
I did say at the start that I was looking forward to seeing how this game was going to go because the map is very different from Radon, right? But that Zergling hug of death was not what I was referring to at all. That came out of the blue. That's map independent, man.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And it's it shows a level of spontaneity from Hawk that he didn't just have a set build planned, that he was going to follow no matter what. He used his scouting links, checked marine counts, kind of figured out what Ultra was going to try to do, and crushed it.
Crushed it. Crushed it is the right way to say it. So, Sterling, since I was mentioning maps. Oh no, my internet is dying.
Oh, we can still hear you. That's the good news.
Okay. Alright, good. How do you feel about Metropolis in TVZ?
I personally like it for TVZ, but I play mech, and so Muta aren't as big of an issue for me, because I have Goliath and Valkyrie tech. I think without Valkyrie, it gets a lot tougher, because the base layout is pretty awkward, especially around the main. You know, you're going to put your barracks near your choke, and you're going to turret there, you'll turret your natural, but the main can be a little bit vulnerable to Muta. So I'm very curious how Ultra approaches this map. It feels like a map. If I were a standard Bioterran, I would be thinking about like a 3-Rax tech build with a fairly fast factory, 2 starport, and Valkyrie. But yeah, I'm curious. How about from the Zerg standpoint?
From Zerg, this is a perfectly good map. I think that the base layout that you mentioned, that it's a little awkward to defend, it obviously invites really interesting Muta play. But I don't think that the map is particularly Zerg favored. The games that I've played on this map, they have felt like, yes, they invite me to play Mutas, and there's definitely, windows of opportunity to be abused, but it doesn't feel imbalanced at all.
Agreed. Okay, cool.
And looks like
jumping
game
into the
is
game.
up.
Game is up. We have Ultra, the absolutely here in the top left, we've got Ultra, very, very strong Terran, very standard, classic SK Terran, traditional style player, which you love to see, and you got to respect it, like win or lose. It's a very, very admirable.
And in the bottom right, we have Red Zerg Hawk looking to play the rest of the series as match point games. He's starting off really strong with a 2-0 advantage over Ultra. We have seen him play 2 very different styles so far, and I am looking forward to see what he comes up with in this game.
Yeah, me too. Like, when you're behind 0-2, cross spawns, which is probably good for Terran. Like, just you mentioned that the Muta timing increasing.
Yeah.
And we've also seen Ultra enjoying 2 racks a CAD, which is a little bit weaker cross spawn.
That is true. That is true. At the very least, the game is going to slow down a little bit, and we'll get to enjoy some more StarCraft in the worst case scenario.
Yep. Interesting that Ultra is not showing any 8 racks today so far. He's just bringing his standard macro game. Racks on the high ground. We have a 15 CC, and he's just ready to bring his stuff. I think he's sort of saying, I've had hiccups in the early game, both games, but I want to show what I can do if I'm playing from an even standpoint, or even from ahead. And you like to see it. You like to see that confidence.
Of course, we want, again, the mental game has to be strong, right? I want both players to be calm. I want them to be in their element. I want them to feel confident playing standard, but also to perhaps go for, a big Zergling surround, or go for a bit of an unorthodox play, right? They need that confidence, and I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
This time around, looks like Ultra is going to keep that SCV alive for quite a while, and yes, unlike the other 2 games we've seen so far, the scouting SCV has perished on its way back. But it looks like this game, oh no, I was going to say no. My argument is being dismantled in front of me. No, Ultra's doing a good job here keeping his SCV alive. But Hawk's control is... Ooh, it's also so good. If this SCV lives for another 10 seconds... Nah.
Like, he hasn't quite been able to see the Spire, but it's been alive long enough to know it's not a Ling Flood.
You would have seen the Hydra then already, too.
Yeah. It's good. It's actually really nice to know that there aren't many Lings or Ling speed when you're doing this fast +1 build with Terran, because your unit count is really low, and if that SCV dies, you have to build a bunker because you have like 6. So he's able to cut the bunker, which always feels really, really good, because with this build as Terran, like, minerals are your main constraint. Because you get this +1, your main plan is to build a ton of barracks and a ton of marines. Got the first medic. Go ahead.
No, the second rack's going up at 450. Spire is about to be done. I wonder if... Yeah, there's a fire bat. I was gonna say, I wonder if Ultra's gonna make like a second medic, or you're actually gonna make a fire bat. I'm just thinking of ways that Ultra could throw Hawk off his element here, but maybe that's why I'm a B rank player and Ultra isn't playing BSL. He doesn't have to resort to mind games, and he doesn't have to pretend to be doing anything out of the ordinary here. I'm happy to see Ultra's adjustment here.
He really doesn't strike me as a mind game type player. He just seems very confident and, you know, like, very stable. And, you know, even in a very kind of theoretically strong classical game of StarCraft, there are a lot of mind games to still be played. Where do you send your dropships? What bases do you scout for? Like, what bases do you pressure? And yeah, we're in a very, very standard situation right now where Ultra's got 3 racks, fast +1. Hawk is attacking to Muta, taking a third, and yeah, it's gonna be kind of tricky, I think, for Hawk to defend this third base, because it's at a natural, and Ultra's gonna have a ton of units.
Yeah, I think much of this game is going to be dictated in the next minute or so. The engagements between the Mutas and the Marines, right? In the previous 2 games, the Mutas dealt so much damage, right, that Ultra wasn't really able to like maintain control over the map. But here in this game so far, Ultra has kept his Marines alive. Hawk is starting to amass the critical number of Mutas, and now the real boxing match begins, right? How many Marines are going to die here? How far are they going to go? Are they going to be able to deny the third? Ooh, I have to say that this area here outside the natural, where the Mutas can fly over the third base, it's very comfortable. There's plenty of room for the Mutas to maneuver, and I know that from the little Terran that I've played, it's really hard to keep your bio ball under control. So if Ultra can cross, if Ultra can cross that gate outside the natural, I'm starting to feel really good for Ultra here. Like, his Marines are out on the map. Now the Marines have room to maneuver. I think that if he keeps his control tight, he could pressure the third base here.
Goose, is he overstepping? Because he's only on 3 barracks. Like, he hasn't gone up to 4 racks or 5 racks. Like, he's teching behind this. He's got a starport on the way. So his bio count isn't as explosive, which is fine, but it just means he's a little bit less pressure, and it's a little more dangerous for him to push out on the map.
Yeah,
but he traded okay, you know. He's got +1 finished. He traded okay.
But still, just no pressure on Hawk's side of the map. Not even a fire bat to sneak through and, you know, kill the drones mining. Queen's Nest going down at 8 minutes. I'd be interested in seeing if Hawk decides once again to go for quick ultras.
It will be, and, you know, I've heard Hawk commentate some TVZ as he's playing, and he usually seems pretty happy when Terran overbuilds turrets. And notices that. He's like, oh, this Terran built 4 turrets at his barracks. So he's, I'm just not going to try to deal damage with my Muta. I just don't need to. The damage has been done passively.
Yes.
It's something he's very aware of, and he's not going to punish himself by flying in and forcing harassment when there's a lot of static D.
Oh my god. Especially when the Mutas have been trading so well on top of it too. Like, Hawk Hawk is effectively containing Ultra here. Right? He doesn't have to do anything crazy. He doesn't have to find interesting angles to fly the Mutas into the main base. He doesn't have to, identify a specific turret that is off position. No. You just keep an eye on Ultra's natural. If any Marine oversteps, their boundaries, you just go and slay them. Hawk is under no pressure here.
Absolutely, and he's keeping it simple. Like he's just trading for Marines, which a lot of times the value there is not as obvious if you don't play the matchup. And like when Muta kill SCVs, it's very obvious that like, okay, economic damage is getting done. But efficiently trading Muta for Marines changes the game state significantly, where Zerg is under way less pressure, and especially with good control, favorable control, where Zerg is keeping their Muta alive. Each Marine is 50 minerals, just like an SCV. It's significant damage.
I was having this exact conversation with Hawk just a few days ago, because I was asking him like, wait a second, for a Muta to trade efficiently, quote unquote, against a Marine, wouldn't every Muta need to kill 4 Marines? Oh my god, this is a huge lurker force from Hawk.
So many lurkers, dude. What is happening? I feel for my Terran brother. That's too many lurkers.
Oh man.
And with double starport, that factory's probably lifted off floating somewhere. So Terran's probably really far away from tanks.
Wow. There's the factory right there.
We're sad now as Terrans and as Terran fans. We're very sad at this point to see those lurkers.
You just don't have the tools. You don't have the tools to deal with this.
You don't, and you have to try to bust. Like, +1 armor, if that's done on the Marines, makes a pretty big difference. It probably is done, so that helps. But Ultra knows, like, he's got a clock on him. He needs to bust this contain in the next, 20 seconds, because if lurker reinforcements arrive, you're drawing dead to the Defiler. Like,
100%.
If this contain gets reinforced, there's no way to deal with Defiler. So we're I expect Ultra to try to bust. There are a couple other fringe things you can do. You can build dropships, ferry your units around the contain to get bio out on the map, but it's very, very difficult.
Especially when the Zerg army is already, at your door. One Dark Swarm is going to support, an entire control group of lurkers in your natural. The threat potential for Hawk here is enormous.
It is. It really is. And it's interesting because it's kind of hard to pinpoint what went wrong for Ultra. I mean, this game, he moved out a little bit too far while being only on 3 racks, so his bio count got trimmed down. Got to feel for the guy a little bit. It feels like he hasn't quite been able to strut his stuff, in the way that he was hoping to. Like, you can see by so many of the things he's doing extremely well, you can see how strong of a player he is. Like, he's playing like a 2350 Terran. He's playing extremely strong, but he hasn't quite been able to show his final form where everything goes well for him and he gets to control the map.